Braves and Dodgers square off in the third game of their four-game series on Sunday Braves. And for both teams, runs will come at a premium. In the opener, Tim Hudson was masterful with 8 innings of shutout ball in the Braves' 1-0 victory. But last night, Ted Lilly baffled Atlanta, and the Dodgers held on to even the series by a 2-1 final score. So today, both teams will need to get their bats going if they hope for a win in this Sunday afternoon matinee. The Braves and the Dodgers meet right now on Fox Sports South. From Atlanta, Georgia, it's time for Braves baseball as we welcome you to Sunday Braves on Fox Sports South. It's brought to you by your Greater Atlanta Hyundai dealers. Make it a Hyundai Sunday every week on Fox Sports South. This afternoon, it's Game 3 of 4. The Braves and Dodgers have split the first 2 games of this 4-game set, and it's Jair Jurgens and Vicente Padilla toiling here this afternoon. And hi again, friends, with Joe Simpson, Braves legend Tom Glavine, Chip Carey back at the ballpark. And fellas, you could say this is a Charles Dickens-like series so far. It's been the best of times. It's been the worst of times for both the Braves and Dodgers. And Tommy, let's start with the best part. The pitching has been outstanding.
Yeah, it really has on both sides. You've seen a lot of good starting pitching in the series, a lot of good bullpen work. And the Braves pitching has been outstanding, and it's been outstanding all year long. You see 1.60 ERA this month, leads Major League Baseball, holding opponents to a 210 batting average, a 294 ERA since the break, is second in the National League. All those things add up to what the Braves starting pitching has been doing all year long, which has been giving the team a chance to win. And really, that's how the team has been built. Strong pitching, starting pitching, strong bullpen work. You've gotten that all year long, and certainly they've continued to get it since the All-Star break. Now we need to start equating that to a few more wins.
And how about an early lead for those pitchers, huh, buddy?
Yeah, the worst of times would be the hitting because the Braves are not getting it done offensively. They got 1 run in the first game of this series, and Tim Hudson and Billy Wagner made it stand up, but they're just not scoring enough to help the pitching out. Since the All-Star break, hitting under 200 with runners in scoring position, 0 for 13 in that category in this series. And also in this series, the Braves, with men on base, have only 1 hit. That was the double by Cabrera last night that did not drive in a run. 1 for 27 in this series. With men on base, it's got to get better.
And hopefully Jair Jurgens will continue his good work for Atlanta. He takes the ball in Game 3. Vicente Padilla, a man that's not afraid to buzz the tower, is pitching for the Dodgers. Hot, muggy day for a ball game. Let's see if the Braves' bats can heat up, too, as they face the Dodgers this afternoon here in Atlanta. Gosh, Mike Estabrook, get a tan, man. Holy smokes, look at him. Yes, sir. Got the card. Art by Sherwin-Williams. All right, bye. Thank you. Okay. Golly. Do you have any more schmutz stuff that...
Okay. Got that going for us. Why do we have 2 shots here? Okay.
We should do the game that way.
Find the ball.
Get a few calls. Hey. TNT Uverse. Hot, muggy weather continues this weekend in Atlanta as the Braves and Dodgers battle in Game 3. And the Braves Live crew's online right now at foxsportssouth.com to answer your questions about today's game. You can log on, head over to the Game Lounge, and chat live with Brian, Fred, Jerome, and insider Bill Shanks. They'll give your insight on today's matchup against these dreaded and despised Dodgers. It's all game long, and it's only on foxsportssouth.com. Here's a sight for sore eyes, fellas. We talked about him in the pregame show, but how nice it is to see Chipper Jones in the Braves dugout today.
It's just incredible. I mean, for him to have had the surgery yesterday morning at 10 o'clock, went home afterwards, spent the night at home. He said he was up at 6 o'clock this morning playing video poker on his phone, and by 8 o'clock he was going stir crazy. He said, "That's it, I'm going to the park." And here
Imagine that. Well, I'll tell you what, I mean, the surgery nowadays, where they want you to, they want you up and getting at it as soon as you can, and that certainly is a good sign that Chipper's up and on his feet.
And he's not the only former Brave or current Brave that's playing hurt today. How are you feeling?
Well, I'll tell you what, I had my surgery on Tuesday, and I can assure you that with the anesthesia and all, I would not have felt like coming to the ballpark on Wednesday. So I give Chipper kudos for that.
Hey, you don't have to ditch the sling if you feel more comfortable with it on. We're not going to make fun of you.
No, you know, you get that thing in the sling, and after a while, it's just like I got to let it hang for a little while. So it's hanging right now. I'm sure it'll be back in the sling.
Okay.
Before it's over.
We'll hang loose.
Oh, yeah,
exactly.
You know, hanging loose.
Yeah, we thought Chipper might be able to join us today during the broadcast, but Chipper's already at the ballpark. He's going to be doing some physical therapy down in the trainer's room, and he said before the game, fellas, that he's able to walk around without any discomfort, and he thinks he might be able to already ride a bicycle to get range of motion going on that leg, which is remarkable.
That would be remarkable. He told me he had the crutches because if he does lose his balance a little bit, he would go down, couldn't catch himself, so that's what the crutches are for.
But it's good to see him at the ballpark, and we eagerly look forward to his potential return next year in spring training. But first things first, got to take care of the Dodgers. And fellas, man, at the top of their order has been a terrific acquisition for them. Scott Podsednik has been red hot. And he starts off the Dodger lineup. It's anchored by pitcher Vicente Padilla, who hits ninth against right-hander Jair Jurgens.
24 years old, 6'1", 200 pounds, making his 14th start. He's been pitching great, Tom. He doesn't have a whole lot to show for it in recent starts, but since he came back from the DL, 4-1, a 3.14 ERA, and 4-0 here at home. That's even more impressive.
Yeah, he's been spectacular at home. Like you say, 4-0 with a 1.91 ERA at home, and 12-5 against the West. So hopefully those numbers will continue to add up for him to have success here today. And he really has pitched well. I mean, you see his splits and you see his numbers on the road. You know, I think that game he pitched in Houston has been very typical, where he's pitched well, hasn't been able to find a way to win on the road, but he certainly, since coming back off the DL, every time out there has given these guys a chance to win, and certainly, at least at home, they've been able to take advantage of his good efforts.
You see his 4 keys to pitching success today. The leadoff men have been giving the Braves a problem, especially Podsednik, so keep those guys off the sacks and follow the leaders. I mean, the way that Tim Hudson and Derek Lowe have pitched the last 2 nights, I'm sure he learned something that can help him today with these Dodgers hitters, even though they have changed their lineup a little bit. But those 2 guys pitched great, and some tough luck last night for Derek Lowe.
Mike Estabrook is the man in harness who'll call the balls and strikes for this afternoon's game. Paul Emmel, Bill Hahn, Gary Darling, the rest of the crew assigned by Major League Baseball.
I hope the glare off Mike's arms doesn't blind anyone today. You been umpiring in a closet somewhere?
.84 degrees, but very muggy as we start things off with the Dodgers. And Podsednik has been a fine pickup. An 11-game hitting streak. They got him July 28th. And those are very good numbers. And they are going to continue as Podsednik, with a line drive into the right field corner. That's the first extra base hit for the Dodgers since Thursday. And it's a leadoff double. And Jurgens already in trouble.
And already a leadoff man on. They got him just as a little bit of insurance in case it took a while for Manny Ramirez to come back. And there is no telling when Manny's going to be ready to play. But, man, oh, man, he's become a real force in their lineup, and they don't have a whole lot working outside of him.
So Ryan Theriot, the former Cub. We get the man at second and nobody out. And he lays down the bunt. Jurgens, wide throw of first, but somehow Gloss held the bag.
What a play. I thought that was pretty impressive that Troy just caught the ball, let alone had his foot on the bag.
Jair got to it in plenty of time. Yeah, it's a good call.
Good play at first by Troy for the out.
So let's see how carefully Jurgens pitches Ethier with 67 RBIs. It is pick your poison with Ethier and then James Loney. Two left-handed bats back-to-back in their order.
And Ethier, Loney, and Kemp are really the only guys in the lineup that have limited experience against Jair, and they're the three guys that have hit him pretty well. Ethier's hit him for 500 so far in his career.
They've been pitching him pretty tough going in and out. I'd like to see them pitch Posednik a little more away. They keep making mistakes in and down and into him, and he keeps turning on them.
Two balls, one strike. Dodgers got Andre Ethier in a deal for Milton Bradley a few years back. And Andre, one of the bright young stars in the National League, hitting third for Los Angeles. 2-2.
Right at the target, McCann had set up out a little bit off the plate, but he still got a piece of it.
Braves are playing back up the middle. They'll give up a run for a ground ball to second or short.
Jair pitched well in Houston, well enough to win. Got a no decision. Braves did win the game 4-2, but he left with the lead. He worked 7 1/3 innings, only gave up 1 earned run, 1 walk, 3 strikeouts.
And there's his first today, a big second out.
Terrific changeup.
Yeah, 3-2 count right there. Difficult situation sometimes, especially early in the game, where you're kind of caught between do you want to go for the strikeout, or you're trying to be a little bit more careful, and you're okay with giving up a walk and setting up the double play. But yeah, a good changeup off the plate right there, and got Ethier to chase it a little bit, and big strikeout. Now he's got a chance to get out of the inning.
Bud Loney's got 70 RBIs, so he's another dangerous hitter.
I think I'd almost play my middle infielders like double play depth position, because he's pretty much going up the middle with everything, at least in this series.
And that's exactly where he hit it. Alex had him played perfectly, and Jurgens pitches around a leadoff double. Dodgers strand Posednik, Padilla to the hill. No score in the first. Omar Infante, excellent work in his last 16. No Jason Hayward, still out with a sore right knee. That gives Melky Cabrera a shot hitting 8th.
And Vicente Padilla on the mound for the Dodgers. He was sidelined for about a month and a half with an inflamed radial nerve in his throwing arm. That's why he's only made 14 starts. His last 9 have been pretty good ones. His 4 keys to success today: soap bubbles. I'll explain why in a second. He'll be around the plate, give you something to hit. Here's the soap bubble.
There's the soap bubble. There's another one in the second inning. There's the soap bubble for City.
Who can say soap bubble better than Vin Scully?
Nobody. I don't know about the analogy, though. I'm not sure.
Floating up there, just
I guess,
ever so softly. Time for the Braves to pop a few of those bubbles today. I'm anxious to see it.
So Vicente Padilla, the pride of Nicaragua, goes to work. And misses outside. Joe Torre provides our Geico quote of the game today. And he talks about that Ephus pitch. And Padilla handles Infante's tapper for the game's first out.
Yeah, he may have added soap bubbles to the repertoire, but still mainly a hard sinker. He's going to get a lot of ground balls if the sinker is on. More of a, move the ball in and out, hard sinker, Derek Lowe type, and just let guys beat it into the ground.
Here's Rick Ankiel. He jumps at the first pitch. And Podsednik in left for the second out. Dodgers defense. Scotty Potts in left. Kemp and Ethier in center and right. New look on the infield with Belliard and Castro. Ryan Terrio, James Loney on the right side. And the crafty veteran Brad Ausmus works behind the plate.
Padilla's had a ton of runs to work with his last couple of starts. 2 starts ago, he beat the Padres 9-0. He only needed 1 run. Complete game, 2-hitter against San Diego. And then his last start was against Philadelphia at Citizens Bank Park, and he got 15 runs to work with that day and beat them 15-9.
Yeah, the rest of the staff saying, hey, let's spread that around, fellas. In the air to shallow left center. And Matt Kemp with the leap makes the play. And Padilla cleans up in the first with those soap bubbles. Needed just 6 pitches. And we're scoreless after 1. Haven't seen the sun much these last couple days in Atlanta, but it's breaking through at the ballpark. As we head to the second inning, always a treat on the home Sundays. We welcome back some of the great Braves alumni. And the man that provided that RBI hit is with us in the booth. Greg Olson is at Turner Field and joins us upstairs. Ole, good to see you, man.
Well, it's certainly nice to be here. And, Glav, see, I did get a couple hits every once in a while.
I want to know what they were giving away that brought you in town. I mean, what did you get for free?
No free things.
Really?
The key is these alumni Sundays are absolutely a blast. I enjoy coming back. I enjoy seeing the Atlanta people. Atlanta is just a great town, and it gives me a reason to come back and stay with Schmaltz and try to play a little golf with him.
Yeah, before we talk about what you've been up to these last couple of years, we got to dig deeper into this golf thing with John.
Well, John is the best golfer that's a non-professional golfer of all the other athletes.
Kemp hits a high fly to right. Look at that ball carry out toward the fence. And Melky Cabrera, steps shy of the wall, gathers it in for the first out.
You were saying?
So John's the best, and wouldn't you agree, Glav? He's probably the best of all the other sports.
Yeah.
And I might get a chance to beat him 1 out of every 20 or 25 times if I just have a great day and his day isn't as good. Well, yesterday was one of those days.
So yesterday was one of those 25.
Oh yeah, I actually shot a 70. That's one of my best rounds of my life, and I did it right with Mr. Schmaltz's presence.
Nice. So just for the record, Greg Olson defeated John Smoltz in a round of golf yesterday.
Yeah,
handily, right?
And next week when he's back again, he won't be able to deny it.
Ronnie Belliard, the batter. Well, besides qualifying for your PGA card, Ole, what have you been up to lately?
Actually, my wife and I, we both were raised in Minnesota. We really enjoy Minnesota, and it was the right thing to do is go back. But Atlanta's my second home. But in Minnesota, actually, I'm a broker of a real estate company. And I have enjoyed that. Real estate hasn't been the best in the last couple of years, but Minnesota is just a great place to live. And in fact, if you would have seen in Money Magazine, I think in the last month, Eden Prairie, my hometown right now, is the #1 city in the country.
Really? Didn't know
So we got that to brag about for 1 year.
I missed that issue of Money Magazine.
Well, I'll send you a copy.
Georgian strikes out Belliard for out number 2.
Yeah, this is the shot. You know, after you catch John Schmaltz for 9 innings, you're pretty worn out. I can catch Glav, and I can go out and do a lot of different things. I could go dancing after catching Glavin because he was easy.
I want to know, after all those years of catching him, playing with him, your buddies now, when are you going to learn to say his name right?
Yeah, I got yelled at last night. Smoltz. It's Smoltz. It's not Schmaltz.
Are you sure you didn't play John Schmaltz and not John Smoltz yesterday? Could have been a different guy.
You know what? The guy I played yesterday still has the big body, the big laugh, and hits the ball a little too fast.
Speaking of real estate, love the ballpark in Minneapolis. You guys have to be awfully proud of that place.
Yeah, I've since I retired way back in '94, I probably went to a half a dozen games in the old Metrodome. This year alone, I've gone to 8 to 9 games just because it is absolutely fantastic, not only for the fans, but I hear from some of the Braves players and the announcers. It's just a wonderful place to go, and it's just that much fun to see outdoor baseball once again in Minnesota.
Well, winning 2 out of 3 certainly helps your spirits.
Yeah.
Right, Tommy? I mean,
anytime you have success somewhere, you always love the place.
Yeah. You lose 2 out of 3 against what a dump.
And the game that the Twins actually won was the game that Liriano and Hudson matched up, and it was a 2-hour and 2-minute game, which is a paradise as well.
A rarity.
You got a favorite memory about the man to your left, Ole?
Well, believe it or not, and I don't know if Tommy, this is what I always tell people, it might be true, might not be true, but in '91 when Tommy won the Cy Young that year, you know, the one nice thing about Tommy, I would put down a signal and he would just go with it. Fastball, changeup, he would shake me off rarely. In fact, right now I'm going to tell you he shook me off one time the whole year in 1991.
Really? And what happened?
What do you think about that?
Probably gave up a home run. Did I? No,
he gave up a hit, and after the game I said, Tommy, please don't shake me off again.
Don't do that again.
But, you know, Tommy was the absolute perfect pitcher for our rotation because, you know, he was a guy, I would sit up outside, and in those days, we didn't pitch inside at all.
No.
I mean, we were 90% outside. I'd just sit on that outside corner, and it was almost a day off for me. That was my pleasure to have Tommy pitching.
What was it like throwing to this guy?
Oh, he was great. I mean, you know, whatever you got offensively was fine. It was always a plus, but you knew you were going to get what he had to help you get through a game, and that was his primary focus, was do everything he could to help us win a game back there, and the offense was secondary.
Well, Ole, it's great to see you, man. You won the belt from Mr. Smoltz or Schmaltz, however you want to say it. You're the champion. You've got bragging rights.
I can call him anything I want right now.
Exactly.
Well, thanks for having me. I appreciate it.
Happy Sunday.
Oh, yeah, you too.
Greg Olson with us at the ball.
conversation. Plus, Spurrier has some moves he's showing off.
Let's get that one live.
It's online right now at secgridironlive.com.
Well, JJ looking good early. A trio of strikeouts. And here in the bottom of the second inning, the middle of the Braves order is coming up. And today's Braves broadcast on Fox Sports South, presented in beautiful high definition by H.H. Gregg.
Soap bubble. Oh, that was no way that was a strike. I don't blame you, Brian.
No. That's the one that they call a strike because of where he caught it versus the one that's in the dirt that they call a ball because of where he caught it.
Thank you, Tom.
You're welcome.
Well, I did learn a lesson in the last half inning. You get up and go to the restroom, you come back, anybody's liable to be sitting in your chair.
Right? I mean,
fans, interlopers.
2 balls hit former catchers.
Yeah. It's great to see Greg. And his wife Lisa was here too.
A little worried about Greg, though. He's so shy.
yeah.
I don't know how he's able to get along in his post-baseball world.
Yeah, Lisa was worried that he would never get up. She said, you put a mic in front of him, watch out.
Well, fortunately, we didn't offer him anything free. Otherwise, he never, really never would have left.
Hey, Brian McCann has the first Braves hit. His first hit of the series.
I remember one of the first endorsements for Greg Olson as another Braves catcher gets a base hit here. I think it was Ugly Duckling Rental Car.
Yes.
And I thought, how appropriate. I mean, that was just a perfect match.
And here's Braves first baseman Troy Glaus. And he hits the first pitch to second. And that's a Dodger double play. Tommy, that 91 club, everyone talks about Sid Bream and Rafael Belliard and Terry Pendleton and the role that they played in shoring up the Braves' infield defense. It's kind of ironic. Nobody really talks about what Greg Olson did.
No, he's kind of the guy that gets definitely lost in the shuffle. And, he meant as much to the success that year as anybody. I mean, no question that we as pitchers drew a lot of confidence from the guys behind us and how they played defense. But, the flip side of that was we all had confidence in Ole behind the plate and what he was doing. And like I said while he was here, he really put his emphasis on what he could do to help us win a game on the defensive side of things. And whatever he did offensively was icing on the cake.
Eric Hinsky drives one foul to left and is behind 0-2.
Made the All-Star team, too, in 91, didn't he?
Yeah, he did. He made the All-Star team. And, just did a really, really nice job for us back there. And at that stage of the game, I mean, it was helpful for all of us young pitchers to have a strong defensive-minded catcher.
0-2 pitch in the air to left, and Padilla has another very easy inning. He gives up a hit, but nothing else. Top of the third inning, we have no score. Sort of taking on a catcher theme in this ball game today. As we welcome you back to Sunday Braves on Fox Sports South, brought to you by your Greater Atlanta Hyundai dealers. Make it a Hyundai Sunday every week on Fox Sports South. Brian McCann, the Braves catcher, has the game's first hit. Greg Olson, former Braves catcher, visiting us in the booth. And how about the career of this man, Brad Ausmus, starting for Los Angeles today. You think about a 17-year major league career behind the plate, and you've gone on the disabled list one time, and that's this year. Amazing.
Yeah, bad back. 41 years old. He's 8th on the all-time list among games caught.
And I'll tell you the strange part of this game that you can't figure out sometimes. The Redmond, the catcher that I could not get out.
Mike?
Yes. Brad Ausmus could not get a hit off of me.
Really?
No?
Unbelievable. I don't know how or why, but as good as Redmond hit me, Brad, to save his life, couldn't get a hit off me.
Well, we're going to check that out.
Yeah, he's one guy that I actually, if you look up the numbers against me, I was pretty good. 2 for 43. See?
Really? God.
It's unbelievable. That's the things in the game that make you scratch your head and say, how is that possible?
Wow.
He's 0 for 1 against Jurgens today, and boy, JJ is popping the glove.
There's a little addendum to that.
And?
Struck him out one time.
Yeah, well, hey, I was not a power guy. I mean,
Out of 43 at bats, 1 punch out. You only got 2 hits.
Well,
amazing.
I made him put it in play.
Yeah, you just embarrassed him is what you did.
Yeah.
Better not go downstairs. He may slug you.
No. He used to laugh every time I'd come up there and get in the batter's box and he was catching. He'd just look at me and laugh. I was like, what are you going to do?
Baker said that if they got in a fight, he'd swing and miss anyway. So,
but he's a very thoughtful guy, very smart guy,
good guy,
and he might be on somebody's list to manage someday in the big leagues.
If he wants to, I'd say you bet.
He managed, I believe, the Dodgers' last game of the year last season after they had clinched a playoff berth. JJ falls behind the pitcher, 3 balls and a strike.
I don't know why guys do that. Just stand there and take it if you're going to take it.
That was like his soap bubble version of a fake bunt.
Put a pretty good cut on that pitch, though. But that's the second out.
Well, this is kind of a recurring theme of this series, too. The first and only run of the game in Game 1 was in the 7th inning. Brooks Conrad's homer. Last night it was 1-0 through 6. Dodgers got a run in the 4th. And there were only 3 runs scored in the whole game. So if you like good pitching, this is the series for you.
Well, I think going down the stretch, they're going to see more and more of this.
I agree.
It's that time of year. Everybody's vying for a playoff spot, and these are going to be the kind of games you're going to see.
Let's see what adjustments JJ makes with Podsednik, who doubled into the right field corner his first time up.
Yeah, sorry, Joe. I agree. I think they got to do something with him to get him a little bit less comfortable up there.
That's a better spot. He doesn't have any power to speak of. I mean, not enough to worry about. So pitch him away and let him put it in play. See what happens, because middle end's not working in this series.
It's kind of like if you want to go in off the plate to where either you're pushing him off the plate a little bit, or if he does swing at it, he can't keep it fair. He's just going to hit a line drive foul down the line, but at least you're you're making him a little bit more conscious in there, and he's not going to be able to reach that pitch away as effectively as he has been.
Chance for the Braves this afternoon to post the first score. Phillies play the Mets on Sunday Night Baseball tonight. Braves start play today 2 games in front of Philadelphia. Little tapper had him reaching. Jurgens has 5 strikeouts, and he's through 3 scoreless innings in Game 3 of our 4-game set. Well, this Thursday, friends, you can play hooky from work or even school if you want. Bring your clients and students to the game. Join us for the SunTrust Business Fan Special this Thursday, August 19th at 1 o'clock as the Braves take on the Washington Nationals. For tickets, visit Braves.com or call 800-745-3000. First pitch and a base hit for Brooks Conrad.
Braves are going after Padilla early in the count, Tommy, and I think mostly because he is around the plate. You're going to get a pitch to hit just about every at bat, and sometimes that comes early in the count.
Yeah, against a guy like this, now he's got the big curveball. The guys don't want to see if they don't have to. Yeah, they're going up there early looking for a strike that they can put in play, and Brooksy got one right there, could put a good swing on it. And interesting, both hits are from lefties, and Padilla's held lefties to a 147 batting average so far this year.
Well, would it be nice to pick out one of those soap bubbles and let Conrad steal second?
There have been a couple of home runs hit off that pitch. Mike Davis had one. I think Jay Bruce had the other. But yeah, that's a lot of confidence from Brad Ausmus, calling for that with a runner at first, and you noticed he called for it on the first pitch.
He waited on that beautifully and splits the gap in left center. Conrad around second. Gets the green light around third. And no throw. 1-0 Atlanta.
Boy, Brooks was lucky to keep his feet, Chip. When Brian Snitker waved him, as soon as he got around third, Brooksy almost did a header into the dirt, but he was able to keep his feet. And you're right. Melky almost looked like he was waiting on that, looking for it. Good piece of hitting to hit it to left center.
Really good. I mean, even looking for it, as slow as that pitch is, it's still really hard to stay back and hit it. And there you see Brooksy almost taking a little header there going around third. But, yeah, you still got to do everything right to wait on that pitch and hit it in the gap like that.
It's only the second hit in this series for the Braves with a man on base. And both of them have been from Melky. Double last night, double today. Now let's see if they can get him over.
Jurgens 3 sacrifices for the season. Ausmus never saw it, but didn't have a play. It's straight back and foul.
I would think that Ephus would be a tough pitch to bunt, too. I wonder if he'll break it out against JJ here.
Back to the mound. Padilla thought about third, but retires Jurgens. Sacrifice. 1 out.
With the Braves' struggles in recent days, dating back maybe a week or 10 days with runners in scoring position especially, one of the things that's really hurt them is the inability to move runners up when they get somebody at second, nobody out. So this is a good sign, good bunt from JJ to help himself. And if the Braves can just do that and pick up little single runs here and there, that'll go a long way toward helping improve their numbers.
And really, guys, isn't this the way they're going to have to play until Prado comes back? And even when he comes back?
I think so.
A strike to leadoff man Omar Infante, who bounced back to the mound. And from a pitching perspective, how big, Tommy, is that second run potentially for you in the early innings?
Well, in a series like this where it's been so tight, it's huge. You know, anytime you can get on the mound and not have one mistake make the game even as a pitcher, you're in a good situation. So that run out there is, you know, would enable JJ to come back on the mound and to where, hey, if he makes a mistake and gives up a solo homer, he's still got the lead. And from a relaxation standpoint on the mound, that makes a big difference.
Up the middle, 2-0. .30 RBIs for Infante. And the Braves do add that second run.
It helps when your leadoff man is hitting .340 in his 60 starts and hitting .363 against right-handed pitching with runners in scoring position. And that's tops in the major leagues.
And the first hit of the day against a right-handed pitcher by a Braves right-handed hitter. So all that worked to Omar's favor. Now Ann Keel will try to chase him home. Rick, 2 hits in his last 25 at-bats.
By the way, it's only the third inning, but you notice Joe Torre had his infield in to try to cut down that second run because runs have come at such a premium in this series.
I think somebody hollered at Padilla too. He was going to pitch out of the windup. Somebody from the bench hollered at him to go out of the stretch. I wonder if they had the squeeze on their mind too.
You mentioned Martin Prado, Chip, and I don't know if we talked about this already, but he's supposed to go out on a rehab assignment tomorrow and possibly be activated as early as Tuesday, maybe Wednesday.
Yeah, Martin was running the bases today, took ground balls at second base, third base, shortstop, made all the throws. Another ground ball up the middle, this one by Ann Keel. And Infante cuts the second base bag beautifully, and the Braves have him at the corners.
3 hits with men on base. Wow. Things are heating up. Like a pretty good pitch out of
Pretty good pitch. I mean, he's, you know, that's the frustrating part as a pitcher. You're getting the results you want, and that you're getting the ground balls, but you're not. Unfortunately, they're not translating into outs. And I don't know. It looks like on both those ground balls, I don't know if Terrio saw those balls very good. He didn't seem to get very good jumps on.
He didn't. You're right.
Which, you know, typically here on Sunday or day games in general, I know those guys on the infield sometimes have a tough time seeing the ball.
How does this infield compare to that of the Dodgers' home field at Dodger Stadium?
You know, quickness-wise, it's probably about the same, but I think there's a little bit different view at Dodger Stadium because the backstop's a little further back.
Good cut by Alex, strike 1. 2 runs, 4 hits in the Atlanta third. Another line drive. 3-0. And Keel around second. On his way to third. The ball rolls to the wall. Rick will score. Alex with a stand-up triple.
Big inning. Gotta love it. First big one in a while. And another pitch was a pretty good pitcher's pitch, and Alex did with it what a hitter should do, and that's take it the other way.
Yeah, aside from Keel, all of these base hits have been to the opposite field and in the gap. So clearly these guys are going up there with, you know, the mindset that either they're going to see that slow curveball and they've got to stay on it and wait on it, or if they're not, it's going to be a sinker away, and in which case the mechanics of what they're trying to do are still the same. They're going to try and take that pitch the other way, and so far they've been very successful at it.
How about that turnaround today? 4 for 5 with men on base versus 1 for 27 in the first 2 games.
No, and it's funny. We talked about it before the game. That I think the stat was on TV last night. The Braves are second in the National League since the break in home runs or something of that nature. And coincidentally, all these things that they've done so well all year long, hitting with runners in scoring position, hitting with 2 outs, all those things have suffered ever since they've started hitting the home run ball. And it's, you know, as much as people have been clamoring for this team to hit more with power, it almost begs or makes the case that they're a better team when they don't.
Yeah, it's contrary to what they really do best.
And the numbers bear that out. The Braves have played 50 games this year in which they've not hit a home run. They've won only 19 of them.
You know, and I think sometimes your mindset as a team is, you know, you don't rely on that long ball, and you tend to rely more on doing the little things. And I'm not saying that the guys aren't bearing down right now, but I think there's a little bit different focus when you don't feel like you've got the long ball to fall back on a little bit. There, you know, you tend
There's no sense of urgency.
Yeah.
Dodgers walk Brian McCann. Look for a double play ball off the bat of Troy Gloss. Troy hit into a 4-6-3 double play his first time up.
Troy just 38% success in getting that runner in from third in less than 2 outs. He'd like to improve on that number. Padillas pitched well in this ballpark. Coming in, his record was 4-3, but an excellent ERA of 2.70. Originally with Arizona, spent some time with Philadelphia.
Also with the Texas Rangers, and think about all the terrific young pitching talent the Dodgers have. You could win yourself a nice little tavern wager if you said, who was the opening day starter for the Dodgers this year?
Yeah.
Vicente Padilla was.
And they got him last year at the trading deadline, and he pitched great for them down the stretch. Helped get them into the postseason. Went 4-0. And a side note to that 4-0 last year, counting his interleague action when he was with the Texas Rangers, since the start of the 08 season, he's 10-2 against the National League.
Well, his departure from the Rangers was not at all an amicable one. They were happy to let him move over to Los Angeles. And he just missed. In fact, he thought he struck out Troy Glaus. Full count.
That's a tough pitch not to get if you're the pitcher when you're in trouble.
Not sure where it was.
What a good break for Troy.
But I think those two pitches right there, that sequence is what he's going to have to start doing with all the base hits that he's given up to the opposite field. He's going to have to start doing something to get these guys conscious in a little bit. You saw it on the pitch before where he was up and in on Troy and threw that pitch, looked like down the middle, and I think Troy thought it was away, and he's going to have to do more of that.
And he does go up and in and picks up his first strikeout in the game. And they're at first and third, 2 outs now for Eric Hinske.
We talked about this last night about when your legs are hurting, and Troy's have been bothering him, and you don't have much of a base to hit off of, drive off of. It's really hard to get up on those high pitches. A lot easier just to drop the head of the bat on anything below the waist. And teams are beginning to figure that out and work him up in the zone a lot.
Good stop by Brad Ausmus. Again, friends, the Braves live crew's online right now. FoxSportsSouth.com, the address. Log on, head to the game lounge. Brian, Fred, Jerome, and Bill Shanks are there. They'd love to get your insights, your questions, comments about today's matchup with the Dodgers. It's all game long, and it's only on FoxSportsSouth.com.
Brad Ausmus looks so comfortable when he's in his crouch, getting the signs and everything. If they ever have an event in the Olympics, which is catching crouch, he's gold medal lock.
Well, that's why he's able to do it for so long.
And I would venture a guess he's probably, for Braves fans, their least favorite former Astro.
Yeah. Yeah, big blow against Kyle Farnsworth back in 05. 9th inning. Tied the game and sent it to extras. What was it, a 17-inning game? I think it was 16 or 17 innings. Chris Burke hit the game winner.
Eric Hinske takes strike 3, and that retires the side. Melky Cabrera got the first RBI of the game, a ringing double that chased home Brooks Conrad. 3 straight hits after 1 out followed. The big blow, Alex Gonzalez's 2-run triple, and the Braves Well, the last time the Braves had a 4-run or greater inning in innings 1 through 9 was July 24th. They score 4 in their half of the third and send the Dodgers back to the batter's box. This past Tuesday, the Hyundai Hope on Wheels Tour made a stop at Atlanta. Hope on Wheels is a united effort by Hyundai dealers to raise awareness of childhood cancer and celebrate the lives of the kids fighting this disease. The program has donated more than $14 million to children's cancer hospitals since 1998, and every time a new Hyundai is sold in the U.S., $5 is donated to the cause. This year, the tour will stop at more than 40 hospitals, and over $2 million will be raised to help doctors fight childhood cancer.
That's awesome.
Very
like
nice.
that.
So our thanks to our friends at Hyundai. And Ryan Theriot to work for the Dodgers. And he's quickly in a 2-strike hole.
Get a quick shutdown inning here from Jair.
Can the Dodgers catch the Giants or the Padres?
I don't think so.
No,
No.
too far. Too many teams to climb over.
Yeah, they're 9 out now, 3 over 500. And Joe Torre yesterday or this morning said any talk about whether he'll return as Dodger manager, he'll have to wait until September. He's not going to make a decision on that until almost the very last day or two of the season.
Wouldn't that be something if he and Bobby and Lou Piniella all walked away the same year?
NASCAR, they call it the silly season. At the end of the campaign, all the drivers switch teams and move to different sponsors and all that kind of stuff. You might have the same thing in Major League Baseball. There are going to be a ton of managerial openings in both National and American leagues.
I heard Bobby Valentine's name mentioned for the job in Seattle. I think that's about the 6th team I've heard his name aligned with so far this year.
Yeah, it seems to me out of those three, Bobby and Lou and Joe, Joe's, I think, the only one that really has a chance of managing somewhere next year.
Mm-hmm. Well, the situation in LA's got to be a little odd if you're the manager, what with the ongoing divorce between the owners of the team and how ugly that has gotten.
And Ryan Theriot rallies from a 2-strike count and leads off the 4th with the Dodgers' second hit. Time now for a money and energy saving bright idea from Georgia Power. Look for the Energy Star label when buying new appliances. Go to GeorgiaPower.com for more energy saving tips. Georgia Power is a Southern company. Here's Ethier. He was the key at bat for Jurgens in the first. Runner at third, one out, and Andres struck out.
Could be a big key at bat this inning too. Theriot had a great at bat, fought off a couple tough pitches, and ends up being a leadoff runner on base. So it'll be interesting to see now how he goes through the middle of that lineup.
In the air to left. Ethier's 0 for 2.
A little wind blowing in from left center. Might have held that up some too. But at least some cloud cover again today, even though we have the humidity. It's in the high 80s temperature wise and not the high 90s like it was.
I think it's safe to say everybody feels very fortunate that we've been able to get these games in to this point. The forecast the entire weekend was terrible.
Mm-hmm.
And this being the only stop for the Dodgers Would have made things very tough. Right center field, and Melky can't get to it. And the ball drops as he overruns it. Runners are at second and third with one out.
I don't know what happened there, because Melky was running after the baseball, but looking at Rick Ankiel, wondering where he was.
That looked like a little bit of a slice, and it looked like as much as Melky was trying to make ground on it, he couldn't because it kept going away from him.
Got a sharp angle to it, too.
So a double for Loney brings up Matt Kemp.
Remember how early in the season it seemed like something goofy happened every time Kawakami pitched? Just something that was out of the ordinary for this team. That's kind of rubbed off on Jair now. He's kind of taken that on. Every time he pitches, something weird happens. Gets him in a tough spot.
Yeah, that's not a spot that you want to inherit.
No.
But to your point earlier, Tommy, about having a 4-run lead, you can trade it out for a run here if you want. Right?
Absolutely. Absolutely you would. Just get a ground ball or even a sac fly and, you know, keep your expectations realistic right here. Just trade it out for a run. They score one. You're still walking off with a 3-run lead. And, you know, at this stage of the game, that's not so bad. Now, if you, again, get to a point where you get Kemp in a 2-strike hole and you can maybe punch him out and get out of the inning, then you can start thinking that way. But right now, trading out for a run.
Go to that at bat by Terrio again, though, and think about what his battling did for them this inning. He was behind 0-2. Would have been easy just to phone it in from there, but he fought off some real tough pitches, like you said, Tom, and then got one he could drive through the hole, and it got all this started.
And he's the man at third base. Loney the man at second with one out. And 1-2 count for Matt Kemp. Powder River, a 96-mile-an-hour fastball, the best of the day.
But I like where he put it. He went upstairs with a purpose.
Yeah, set it up with the pitch before that where he tried to go hard in. Kemp fouled it off and came back with a harder one away and up out of the zone a little bit, and Kemp couldn't catch up to it.
5 strikeouts for Jurgens. Here's Belliard. He struck out swinging his first time up.
Braves have several things going for him today, not the least of which, of course, is Jurgens and the way he's been pitching, but day games at home. Braves are 15-1 at home this year in day games. Good try. Sherwin-Williams painting the corners, and maybe that did stay inside.
Good pitch, though.
Yeah, Fox track shows it was inside.
I guess JJ better throw his pitch within like 3 or 4 seconds, or Ronnie's had enough. He's going to back out.
Bat's awfully heavy.
Both he and Kemp have stepped out a couple times. And now he couldn't stop his swing, and the count even at 2-2.
Another slider. Will he chase another one?
I would find out.
To first. Troy's got it. And Jurgens pitches out of second and third, one out to preserve the shutout bid. 4-0. Atlanta the lead. Time at Turner Field. Joe mentioned the Braves' good record at home in the bright sunny skies. And it's a 4-0 score for the man that started the third inning rally, Brooks Conrad.
Today's a great day to be out there at the chop house on the deck. If you get hot, there's something close by to quench your thirst.
Yes. In the air to left. Pasednik drifting back and shy of the track as the first out.
There's another one of those Brooks Conrad fly balls. It looks like it's just a routine fly off the bat, and then it carries to the warning track or sometimes goes out.
Yeah, he's got some carry that way.
Awfully strong.
And we welcome you to Sunday Braves on Fox Sports South. It's brought to you by your Greater Atlanta Hyundai dealers. Make it a Hyundai Sunday every week on Fox Sports South. Joe, Tom, and Chip with you. Great to have Jerome Jurinovich, Fred Hickman, Brian Jordan on Braves Live on hand before the game. They are, of course, doing the live chat on foxsportssouth.com. And a ground ball. Nice play by Loney. And a beautiful lead for Padilla. Boy, watching Loney play, guys, he reminds me of Mark Grace, as smooth as he is around the bag.
He's very underrated, both as a hitter and as a defensive player. I know he doesn't hit a lot of home runs, but he is a terrific run producer and an outstanding glove man.
Yeah, it seems to me, when I remember when he first came up with all these guys, and I could be wrong, but I seem to remember the talk of him being that somewhere in the future he's going to win a Gold Glove and he's going to win a batting title. You know, and he certainly, the Gold Glove side of it, you certainly see that already.
It sounds funny to say, though. Will Loney hit enough to win a Gold Glove?
Yeah, well.
Yeah, it's just not fair, is it? I don't know where that started. I mean, guys like Mark Belanger, you know, he had a good year if he hit 210.
Yeah.
Won a ton of Gold Gloves for the Baltimore Orioles. Ozzie. Guys like that were never good hitters, but outstanding glovemen, and they'd win their awards like they should have. I thought one of the biggest travesties was about 3 years ago when Chipper didn't even get into double figures in errors, and I think David Wright made 20 or something like that and got the Gold Glove.
Because he had huge offensive numbers. Squibber hit to the right side. Another test for Loney. And that retires the side in order for the Braves. On we go to the fifth. Jair Jurgens. JJ has struck out 5, has scattered 3 Dodger hits and 3 Dodger base runners as we move along to the 5th inning. Tomorrow night it's game 4 of the series, and that's the subject, fellas, of our Airtran upcoming schedule. And a rematch of sorts.
Now these guys hooked up back in June in L.A. Tommy came out on the better side of it. Billingsley, though, a 9-game winner. Always tough. He's got a good breaking ball.
I suspect it'll be another game like we've seen this whole series with good pitching.
Juan Castro quickly behind in the count. No balls and a strike. Castro struck out his first time up. Dodgers certainly missing a catalyst in their lineup. Rafael Furcal's got a bad back. And a soft line drive is the first out.
Dodgers don't know when Rafael is going to be able to go out on a rehab assignment. Might be a while. It's kind of a wait and see on Manny Ramirez. He has a calf injury that's very hard to diagnose at times, how severe it is. Plus, he can't get an MRI machine to have it really checked out. He's one of those guys that can't get in the tube. So it's another wait and see when Manny's ready to play. They don't know when that'll happen.
Well, they did hitch their wagon to Manny Ramirez, didn't they?
Boy, that was a Wells Fargo wagon, wasn't it? Ooh.
Ground ball to short off the bat of Ausmus. Manny's in the last year of his deal with the Dodgers, but there's a lot of deferred money for the next 3 seasons coming his way. And he's missing today his 115th game in the last 2 years. 50 of those because of suspension.
That might go down as not exactly a good return on your investment, I think.
Further complicating things for Dodger skipper Joe Torre.
You can't see into the future. You get, I don't want to use the word greedy, because teams know that if you add a guy like Manny Ramirez, he's going to make you better, and he made them better. Right up until time of the suspension. Funny how his numbers haven't been quite as good since he came back from his suspension, but you just never know. You can't control injuries or how much a guy might play with an injury.
Well, despite the fact, fellas, that Manny hasn't been nearly as reproductive, would he be a viable trade candidate? Would anybody take his contract, assuming that he's able to play?
There would have to be some real clearly defined numbers in terms of what the team that gets him, what kind of commitment they have to make financially.
Yeah, I can't see anybody making any financial commitment and any more of a commitment than the remainder of the season.
Padilla is down on strikes. Jurgens has had an excellent fastball today. Jurgens with 6 punch-outs, and he's through 5 innings. On those summer Sundays at home.
Yeah. Plus 10 miles an hour on his fastball, that's for sure.
But all eyes on the top of the order for the Braves, who have put together 6 hits. 5 of them came in that 4-run 3rd inning.
Omar's had a great year. Good numbers since day one, and he's hit real well here at home. Coming into today's game, and he's 1 for 2 today. He's hit .385 here at Turner Field.
And I know, Joe, you've said this in a somewhat kidding way, but you're dead serious. This guy's an all-star player, and if anything is going to help you absorb the blow of losing Chipper Jones, it is the fact that you can plug a guy like Infante anywhere on your infield and get production and get consistent work.
And you get Martin back in there. You'll have 2 all-stars on your infield. That'll help absorb some of that. I just think when Martin comes back, it gives Bobby some real good options lineup-wise, too. 2 guys, and Infante and Martin, who have high on-base percentages. They hit well with runners in scoring position. They handle the bat well. They hit the right field. And might give Bobby a chance to move Jason Hayward to another spot in the order where he might be more productive.
There's that shot to right you were talking about. Infante, a 2-hit game.
Well, it'll be interesting to see because, you know, like I said, there aren't too many teams that lose a guy like Chipper, and within a relatively short period of time are going to plug in 2 all-stars to fill in the holes on that infield. But and you know, they're in a very good position in that regard. But like you alluded to on the pregame show, Joe, there's a different feel to that lineup when number 10's not hitting third. I don't care how he's swinging the bat, and that's something that we're going to have to see how it plays out. You know, I know as a starting pitcher, when you got a guy, when you're facing a lineup and you've got a guy like that in the lineup, you really, you know, you might in the back of your mind know, okay, maybe he's not the player he used to be. Maybe he's not swinging the bat real well right now, but he's still a guy you look at in that lineup and say, I'm not going to let him beat me. And that forces you to make some choices throughout the lineup. And when he's not there, those choices aren't quite the same.
And if you missed our talk at the top of the broadcast today at 1:30, Chipper is at the ballpark today. He said he can put weight on the knee. He feels like he's ready to start riding a stationary bicycle just to get some range of motion. He is getting physical therapy on his quadriceps muscle to help keep the legs in shape. And in talking with Chipper before the game, he said he feels already he's 3 weeks or so ahead of his pace of when he first had his knee surgery because of the arthroscopic procedure. There you see, able to walk around one day after knee surgery.
That's amazing.
And we'd asked Chipper to come up today, but because of the physical therapy, he's not able to do that. But we're hopeful that Chipper will join us when the Nationals are in town on Tuesday night.
James Loney just had a chat with Padilla after that throw over, and I wonder if he had a little trouble seeing that ball, that throw over from the background too. Apparently not.
Maybe he told him, throw one over again a little bit higher this time. See if I can see it better.
And harder.
Don't throw a soap bubble.
No.
Braves moved Dan Keel to the number 2 spot of the order to let him hit behind Infante and in front of Alex Gonzalez.
3-1 here. I got to look for something off speed from him. I got a pitch to work with. Look for something soft. Fastball didn't matter.
Missed outside. And Keel's hit in the 3rd inning. Only his 3rd in the last 26 at bats. Now he walks to set up another big inning. 2 on, nobody down.
And he hasn't been walking a bunch of guys. I think 2 is the high for him. Yeah, in his last, if you count this as his 5th start, 2's the most walks he's issued in any one.
Seem to pay an awful lot of attention to Omar over there at first base, which, I mean, Omar's certainly not a stationary guy over there, but almost paid attention to him like it was Juan Pierre over there.
Alex had the big triple in the third inning, taking a pitch the other way. Let's see if they change their approach and how they work him, although that was a slider away. Good pitch. Really spoiled a good pitch, not just by getting a piece of it, but by driving it into the gap. 2-run stand-up triple.
Yeah, all these guys that second at bat through the lineup hit the ball the other way and hit it hard. So this is where he's going to have to make that adjustment to get them off that pitch.
And that's what I think everybody's been leading to. Padilla's a guy whose reputation is he is not afraid to pitch inside. And it's been sometimes to his detriment and his teammates' detriment in the batter's box. And he just hit Alex Gonzalez to load the bases with nobody out.
Yeah, but this goes to what Tommy was just saying. He was going to have to pitch Alex inside to get him off that outside pitch. And more than anything else, remember, Alex got hit in the forearm a couple of weeks ago. And he's a little sensitive to getting hit in that same spot again. And he certainly didn't want to try and hit him there to load the bases.
No, he's not going to hit him to load the bases. And, you know, he does have that reputation, and maybe that's part of why he hasn't pitched inside today. Maybe either that reputation, he knows it, and he's trying to not put his teammates in a position to where they're going to get retaliated against, or maybe he's just not comfortable pitching inside right now, and that's why he's hitting so many guys. But you know, I'll always make that argument against the guy when he's pitching in the American League. It's real hard to hit guys when you don't have to stand in the batter's box. But you know, if he's still hitting guys and he's pitching in this league, then he's strapping it on and getting in the batter's box too. So he's opening himself up to retaliation. So
7th hit batter for him. Ties him with Billingsley on their ball club, and also ties him with Kershaw, but he's got a lot fewer starts than they have.
And speaking of 7, that's the number of grand slams for Brian McCann already in his career. And it's set up for him to knock the Pins down in the 5th inning with the Braves already up by 4.
Well, I talked to Mac a little bit before the game, and I know he's frustrated over these last 2 games because he hasn't really felt like he's produced the way he should. He feels like he's seeing the ball really well, swinging the bat real well, and just not making contact the way he wants to. This would be a good time to do it.
Well, last night, Ted Lilly's on his game. He's pitching really good baseball right now, and he's got an assortment of off-speed pitches. And then Brian had to face Quo in the 9th inning, and that guy's throwing a bazillion miles an hour. So Matt can't be too hard on himself, especially in last night's game.
Yeah, I was getting on him for swinging at a couple of those change-ups inside that Lilly threw him, because he always used to give me a hard time for throwing those pitches because he couldn't do anything with them.
Yeah.
Little quick, and he broke his bat.
Yeah, but that may have been a real good pitch, in that you don't come in on Brian McCann in RBI situations because he's so quick in there. But it may have been a good enough pitch that Padilla knew there was nothing he could do with it except break his bat.
Yeah, and that gets to the point I was saying. If you think you're going to get Mac or any of these guys out of the way, you got to do something inside to make them honest. And that doesn't mean you throw them strikes in there they can hit. You got to throw the ball in there to where it's a little bit off the plate, to where either they're taking it, but they're at least moving off the plate, or they do what Brian did right there, where it looks good enough to swing at it, but you can't keep the ball fair. And now you've at least served the purpose, the dual purpose of A, making them conscious inside, but B, getting them off that pitch that you're trying to get them out with, which I'm guessing is going to be a sinker or something away.
Yeah. To left. Vasednik's got it. Omar will tag and score, and Keel will tag at second and move to third. It's a sac fly, and the 63rd RBI for Brian McCann to make it a 5-run Braves lead.
Especially behind in the count, O'Brien will do that. We'll take that. Gets that runner in, and good piece of base running by Posednik. Or excuse me, by Ankiel, with Posednik making the play. Rick had a real nice opportunity there. He ran back and tagged up at second, and now he can take off for third, and then if Posednik throws to third, he can stop. And as Posednik did, he threw behind him so he can keep going. He was in the catbird seat there from a base running standpoint.
First and third, 1 in, 1 out for Gloss. In the air, left center field. That's pretty well hit. Kemp going back. That ball is out of here. Swing caps another 4-run inning for the Braves. It's an 8-0 score.
Like he got a pitch down that he could drop the barrel of the bat on. No better time than now for our Airtran. How far did it fly home run? Troy Gloss got one down and out over the plate and launched it 402 feet into left center field. A 3-run jack. That's our Airtran. How far did it fly homer? Just the 4th time this month so far where the Braves have scored 5 or more runs. They scored 5 or more 17 times in May, 11 times in June when things were really rolling well for the offense.
So Carlos Monasterios is into the fray. Activated July 11th from the disabled list. Had a blister on his right index finger. And has pitched a very good ball for the Dodgers out of the pen. He started 8 times for them this year. And he'll face Eric Hinsky with the bases empty and 1 man out. Game like this, fellas, take the pressure off your offense for a couple of short hours.
Well, you know, it does a little bit, obviously, but I think these guys obviously want to continue to grind it out and continue to have good habits.
Hinsky down swinging for the 2nd out. And Chipper was talking again before the game. Thought that he could sense it last night. So many close games, so many missed opportunities that there was some pressing going on.
Yeah, I think that's true. But I think it just goes back to execution, moving guys over, getting them in from third base with less than 2 outs, things like that to kind of help everybody relax. And I said this in Houston, Chip, that if you get a couple of runs in, especially early, it takes a little pressure off everybody.
And the way Jurgens is pitching, 8's more than enough, you'd think.
Let's hope.
As he allowed just 3 hits in his first 5 frames worked against the Dodgers. And looks Conrad jammed. Yep. And that will retire the side. Troy Glaus cracks his 16th home run. A 402-foot blast into the seats in left center. Another 4-run inning for the Braves makes it an 8-0 score.
I'm worried. I can't find my preseason picture.
All right, I got to go in for a little while.
Go to the pen.
Yeah.
Barking.
What?
Got it.
Yeah, thank you. What'd you say, Smarty Pants?
Top of the 6th inning. It's an 8-0 score, and Posednik, Terrio, and Ethier coming up for the Dodgers. Broken bat, kick, save, and a beauty. And he's limping. That caught him flush.
Walk it off. Walk it off.
1 out.
Don't need any of that today.
Jeff Porter has been too busy the last week or so, and he's on his way to the mound along with the skipper, Bobby Cox.
Pointing at his foot or his ankle?
Thought I hit him in the shin, it looked like, on his back leg. shin or inside the ankle.
This will get a good look at it. You got him like right on the point of the ankle. I know this has happened to you before, things like this where you get rocked like this, but you don't feel it until after you make the play.
No, and you know, and sometimes you don't even feel it till you get off the mound, go back and sit down, and then you feel that little heartbeat in your shin or wherever it hits you, and you're like, oh, that hurt. So, yeah, I think he'll be okay for now, obviously, but that'll be the kind of thing that as this game goes on, I wouldn't be surprised they'll have a pressure wrap or something on it and try to keep it from swelling.
It's 8-0, too.
Yeah, exactly. So, you know, hey, knowing Bobby, he'll get him through this inning and maybe give him a break the rest of the way.
Terrio down a strike. Had a very good at bat in the Dodger fourth. Fell behind 0-2. And then picked up his first hit of the day.
Jair did some of his best pitching at that point. Second and third, one out, and he struck out Kemp. And got a ground out from Belliard that Gloss made a nice play on. Troy's had a good day. Remember the good play he made in the first inning on that bunt by Terrio, where JJ threw a little wild.
Well, in a season that's been a roller coaster ride for Troy offensively, would it be nice to see him in August and September get as hot as he was in May?
That'd be incredible.
Chopped off the plate. Brooks charges, throws on the run, and Gloss a good play to come off the bag to save an error. Infield hit.
Nice glove work by Brooks. Tough angle to throw from, having to throw actually back across his body and off balance and a little off the mark.
Does this guy ever hit for the Dodgers without a guy on base?
He hasn't today.
And he just powdered a baseball down the right field line. But it's a long, loud strike.
Those are some quick hands right there, folks. He doesn't take a huge, long swing.
You see, Bark in the Park is coming up. Not quite the dog days of August yet. But tickets are $25. They include one dog ticket, one human ticket. You can get your tickets at braves.com/bark today.
Andre Ethier got off to a rip-roaring start. Like Martin Prado, he suffered a broken pinky finger on his right hand. Missed a couple of weeks. His average suffered when he came back. He may have come back too soon. I think that's what the Braves are trying to be careful of with Martin, too, is make sure that if there is still some pain, it's something he can deal with. The doctors have cleared him, given him a clean bill of health to resume all of his baseball activities, and that's why he's going out on a rehab tomorrow.
And he also said he doesn't want to do anything that's going to change the way that he hits.
Right.
Fisted into center field, and Keel tries to deke Terrio. The throw to third is going to nail it. Keel still can really throw the baseball.
You know he can, and likes to. He put this one right on the money. coming right into the direction he was going to throw the baseball. And some really bad base running there by Terrio. I don't care if he was running or not. Down 8-0. Nice play by Hankiel.
So Ethier, a base hit, stands at first, but with 2 outs for James Loney.
You know, you hear about fundamentals and base running mistakes and what was he trying to do, that sort of thing. You don't make the first or third out at third base, and what's wrong with that? That was only the second out of the inning. Well, you're down 8-0, and you're at second base. You got Ethier at first, and you got your cleanup hitter up there, and you're down 8. You know, this guy pops one out, might give you some hope that you could come back somehow.
Ground ball short. And that'll retire the side. Dodgers get 2 hits, can't score their first run of the day. 8-0 Atlanta. Good offense, good defense, and a good call, Skipper.
Eight 8-0 Atlanta. Welcome back to the Coors Light 6th inning. Now it's time for the Coors Light Freeze Camp. Train. And that sounds good right now. How about this? Melky Cabrera with a big double to drive in the first run of the game. Omar Infante with a base hit. Spoiling a good pitch. And then Alex Gonzalez with a 2-run triple in the 4-run third inning. They got the Braves going. That's the Coors Light Freeze Camp brought to you by Frost Brewed Coors Light.
So Melky Cabrera starts things off. And Monasterio falls behind him. As you look at Jay Gibbons, he's taken over for Ethier in right field. Here in the Braves 6th. And the Phillies play the Mets tonight. Braves start play today, 2 games in front of them. The Phillies, that is. Minus 67 and 49 coming in. And up the middle. Melky, a 2-hit game. This guy's hitting 300 since the break.
Yes, he has. Double last night. 2 hits today, including a double. Always like to play first, don't you?
Oh, absolutely. put your score up there and make everybody else chase you.
Marlins, another club chasing the Braves, but they're losing to the Cincinnati Reds, who are tied with the Cardinals for the National League Central Division lead. Florida trying to get back to 500 today. They're 9.5 out.
Josh Johnson's even been proven to be human the last couple of starts. He's been knocked around some.
Pretty fun Cy Young Award race going in the National League too, huh, Tommy?
Yeah, there's some choices this year, that's for sure. It's going to be a tough go of it. I mean, Wainwright's having a great year, and Menes is having a great year. At least wins-wise, and then you can't overlook the work that Halladay has done and how good he's been. And man, there's just a lot of guys in the mix this year.
And there's one of the big guys.
And Huddy, of course,
Tim
our
Hudson,
guy.
yeah.
He'll. Huddy might be in a really good position because I think, I just made the mistake too. I think those other three guys are the three guys that everybody talks about right away. And Huddy's just kind of laying in the weeds, and he might quietly sneak up on everybody. And, all those other guys have a couple of bad games here going down the stretch, and Huddy just keeps plugging along. He could sneak his way in there.
Second to Wainwright, as you saw, in ERA in the league. And I can't think of a game that Tim has pitched better than the one he did here the other night.
He's had some really outstanding starts back-to-back. 5-game winning streak. He'll pitch next on Wednesday against Livan Hernandez and the Nationals.
Jurgens to right. Gibbons dives, can't hang on. And two are on with nobody out. It's
JJ decided to stay in the ball game after taking that line drive off the ankle. Maybe just so he could take one more swing.
Yeah, it probably feels better being out there on it. Once he gets off it, it's going to start hurting. But good piece of hitting right here. Although in an ain't nothing game on a Sunday afternoon, it's kind of hot. I'm thinking that Bobby and the rest of the guys in the dugout probably would rather him lay down a bunt and not be running the bases. But another chance to add on.
His second hit of the year.
That's it?
That's it.
I'm going to have to talk with him about that.
2 for 27.
Well, he was hurt for a while, so got to cut a little slack.
Yep. No, he's still got 27 at bats. He's got to have more than 2 hits. It's got to be better than that.
No, that's it. But only 9 strikeouts. He's putting it in play.
Putting it in play. That's good.
Another 2-hit game for Omar Infante. He's got a 4-game hitting streak. He's also scored a couple of runs. He's driven home a run. Gibbons in right again, battling the sun, hangs with it.
He's just thrilled to be out there, isn't he?
That's the hardest routine catch he's going to make all year long right there.
Thrilled to be back in the big leagues after not being in the big leagues for a couple of years. And Ethier takes the rest of the day off and says, get out there and get you some of that sun, Jay. Monasterios has a delivery that, from a hitter standpoint, you didn't mind. Didn't mean that you're going to automatically get some hits. But he kind of lays the ball back in his hand as he's about to deliver it, and you really do get a good look at it coming out of his hand. Not a whole lot of deception.
Yeah, similar to, I heard you guys talking about Dotel last night, where it's kind of the same thing, where you see the ball for a long time, and you get the sense that you're getting a good look at it, and all of a sudden, boom, it gets on top of you in a hurry.
Octavio throws across his body some and hides it a little bit. That helps him. And now that I watch him, it may be that he only does this on some of his off-speed pitches. And that might be telegraphing it a little bit. You see a lot of white.
Yeah.
As he's about to start his arm action forward.
First full inning for him. 2 singles and a pop out. And a 2-0 count to Ankiel. Three balls and a strike. Again, the Braves live crew's online right now, foxsportssouth.com. Brian, Fred, Jerome, and Bill Shanks are twittering away online. So join them on foxsportssouth.com in the game lounge. A lot of happy comments, I'm sure, today with the Braves enjoying an 8-0 lead. And now they're loaded. Alex, a 2-run triple in the 3rd inning, was hit by a pitch last time and scored ahead of Troy Gloss's home run.
Up to 62 RBIs on the year. He's got 10 RBIs his last 14 ball games.
Well, a few more wouldn't hurt.
Another guy who's going to have to pick up some of the RBI slack and power slack left in the wake of Chipper's injury.
Everybody's going to have to do a little bit.
Yeah.
And that, that's going to be the key. You don't want 1 or 2 guys thinking that they've got to become something they're not. You just get a little bit extra from everybody and make a goal. But
well, I think that's one of the great strengths of this ball club. When they were really clicking along, Joe, it was a different hero every single day for the Braves.
Yeah, I think out of those 19 last at-bat wins, there's like 10 different guys or 12 different guys that have contributed to that. Rick Honeycutt's working on his suntan today. He's had to make a few trips to the mound.
I think he's asking Carlos whether or not he wants to be out there because his body language right now is
it's not good, is it?
Not very good. From the minute he lets go of the ball, it looks like he's pretty much telling himself he stinks, and then the time he takes in between pitches and he's trying to figure something out, it's just like he doesn't want to throw the next pitch.
Well, he's a contradiction already. Mono stereo.
Schmaltz would be proud. I hope he's listening.
I think he's working on his golf game. Good chance. After Olsen humiliated him yesterday. High pop fly to shallow right center. Kemp drifts over, makes the catch. Melky will tag and score, give Alex his 3rd RBI of the game. ABC baseball, fellas. And it's 9-0 Braves in front.
Who's pitching that game tonight in New York?
Kendrick and Pelfrey. Is what I read online today.
Pelfrey's had some bad starts, but he had a good one his last time out.
Yeah, he found himself a little bit the last time out.
It's funny, the Phillies, for all their great offensive work, won 4-0 last night. Those are the first 4 runs they've scored against the Mets at Citi Field this year. They've been shut out 4 straight games up there.
Hard to believe. There's talk that the Phillies will get Chase Utley back this coming week at some point, and maybe Ryan Howard back by the end of this coming week. Victorino's already back off the disabled list.
Braves see the Phillies 6 times in the final 12 games this year. Little roller hit to the right side, and that will retire the Braves in the 6th. They tack on another run, a 3 RBI day for shortstop Alex Gonzalez, and it's 9-0. Good day all around for the Braves. They enjoy a 9-0 advantage with Joe Simpson and Tom Glavine. Chip Carey back at the ballpark as we take a look at our AT&T Uverse trivia question. Matt Kemp had a 26-homer, 34 stolen base year last season. Who's the only Dodger with a 30-30 season? Kemp just missed a 30-30 year. Can you name the only Dodger with a 30-30 campaign? I'm going to guess Joe Simpson had a 30-30 year with the Dodgers.
30 strikeouts, 30 at-bats?
I'm not going there. I'm just saying a 30-30 year.
Hard to believe the Dodgers have only had one.
Matt Kemp is the Dodger hitter.
No, it wasn't Carlos or Piazza.
No. And Kemp takes out a little frustration and leads off the 7th with a clean single.
Wasn't Willie Davis. Wasn't Maury Wells. Trying to think of Davey Lopes. I don't think he ever hit 30 homers. I think he had some mid-20s.
Here's Belliard.
This season where the Dodgers had 4 guys that hit 30 or more. And Reggie Smith, Dusty Baker. Dusty hit his 30th on the last day of the season. Ron Say and Steve Garvey.
And Belliard clipped on the hip as that one went by. So, was it a hit batsman? Yeah, it was. Mike Estabrook said it hit you. Take your base. And Belliard looks like he'd rather hit.
Well, if Belliard's upset, he needs to go talk to Mr. Padilla, perhaps.
Talked about that earlier.
I don't know what he's all that upset about. It barely hit him.
One more to follow with the Dodgers here tomorrow night. It's Buck Bellew Buck Night at the ballpark. All upper reserve seats are only $1 for the series wrap up.
Are the tickets red and black, Georgia colors, for that Buck Bellew Buck Night?
That's a good question. I don't know. Lindsey Scott can get in for free. And 2 Golden Moon Casino Pavilion tickets for the price of 1. Tomorrow night as well. That's 2 tickets for $28. And this has been a very well attended series. Had a giant crowd here last night. I didn't get the official number. Yeah. Was it just shy of 50?
Yeah, it was the second largest of the year, right behind opening day. 49,267. Braves have gone over 1.7, almost up to 1.8 million. In fact, they'll go over 1.8 today.
And a lot of home games still left, and you can still buy a 2010 prorated season ticket plan. This plan started just $6 a ticket. Castro thought he walked, but faces a full count.
Yeah, he was walking, and that was just a perfect pitch, according to Fox Tracks.
Figured he couldn't hit it, so he might as well try and solo walk.
And a look back at the umpire as Jurgens misses to load the bases and nobody out.
First walk of the day.
Not sure if we didn't have a little bit more veteran umpire back there, if that would have been strike 3 right there.
So Roger McDowell out for a chat. So again, Dodgers in town, then the Nationals Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday afternoon. Business fan special on Thursday. Great ticket plan still available. Got Buck Bellew Buck Night for the upper reserve. We've got the 2-for-1 Golden Moon Casino plan, prorated season ticket plan. So a world of ticket opportunities for you. Join us at the ballpark at 577-9100. Ticket reps are standing by. Here's Brad Ausmus. Dodgers have had a couple of chances to add some runs. Have not been able to do so yet.
Getting ready.
Oh, and 2. Only Only the 11th game played by Ausmus this year. Joe mentioned the back troubles he's had. Back for his second season with the Dodgers, who are also without Russell Martin. Ground ball toward third. There's one. There's two. Kemp scores the first Dodger run, but Jurgen's happy to give up that for the double play.
Traded 2 outs for a run there. Take it all day long.
And no RBI for Ausmus. Casey Blake will hit for Monasterios. Blake at .248, 12 homers, 47 RBIs. But has really struggled, fellas, this year against right-handed pitching. 100 points lower than he has fared against lefties. .219 average against righties, .324 against lefties.
He seems to have a knack, though, for getting big hits for the Dodgers.
But mighty Casey strikes out, and that sends this game to the 7th inning stretch. The shutout bid is by the boards, but not a big lead for Jurgens.
He has struck out 7. You'll see an assortment of those here, and have not allowed a run until the top of this 7th inning. Good stuff, throwing hard, good breaking stuff. Has kept the Dodgers off balance. Only 1 walk on the day, and that also was here in the 7th. A good day for Jair. Looks like his day may be finished. And a new pitcher for the Dodgers here in the 7th as well, Ronald Belisario.
Belisario, 37 games this year, missed 29 while on the restricted list for a month. In fact, Belisario's last win says here June 10th. So he goes to work with the heart of the order coming up for the Braves. Chip, Joe, and Tom with you today from the ballpark. Braves in command to take a 2-1 series lead with one more to play. And more importantly, Tommy, supposed to win before the Phillies and Mets play tonight.
Yeah, get out there, get a win, put a little pressure on the Phillies to keep track here. And you know, this time of the year, look, any opportunity you can get to play early on and then post that win and put pressure on the team that's just trying to chase you is a good thing. And it's been a good day all around for the Braves today.
During the 90s and when things were going so well for you guys, I know that the season can be a grind and you got to want to pitch well every time out, but you had to really look forward to this time of year when things were really getting crucial.
Well, you did, and you know, this was the fun time of the year, even though it's the most anxious time of the year and the hardest grind in terms of the season is concerned. I mean, it's the fun part of the year. You want to be playing meaningful games this time of the year, and you know, you can kind of sense the playoffs right around the corner, and everybody's making that last mad dash to get in. So it should make for a very exciting last 6-7 weeks of the season.
And something, guys, we really haven't talked about tonight or today with regards to Jair Jurgens is how fresh his fastball has been. And all the time he missed maybe have been the best thing that happened to him in 2010.
Could be a blessing in disguise, that's for sure.
82 pitches after today's work.
And I thought today was as good as he's been all year long in terms of velocity, but moving the ball in all quadrants of the strike zone. He was in, he was down, he was away, and I thought he used his fastball up much more effectively today than he has all year.
His pitching opponent was Vicente Padilla, who didn't fare well at all. 8 runs, 8 hits, and 4 1/3 innings. And last man he faced is the man Belisario faces first. That's Troy Glaus. And this is why Padilla left the game.
16th home run of the year for Troy, and a 3-run shot at that. 402 feet from the laser Baker Taylor Tate. Man, what was that? Had Troy leaning back. It's like a fastball, but Belisario got the call. Quite as far inside as I thought it was, but Foxtrot shows that it was in off the plate for sure.
The other exciting time about this year, Joe, is 2 weeks away from September 1st.
Yeah, Jim Sudik was kind enough to get us some numbers on some of the guys in the minor leagues for the Braves, and we get asked all the time about how Freddie Freeman's doing. Seems like he's always the guy that comes to mind first, and he's still tearing it up at Gwinnett. He's averaged .312, 16 homers, 75 RBIs. Not bad for a guy who's 20 years old, about to be 21.
Lost down on strikes. And that Sherwin-Williams replay didn't have to paint the corners. Here's Hinsky. Eric's 0 for 3. A couple of strikeouts.
Nate McLeod's numbers, he's at .233 in 23 games for Gwinnett, 4 homers. Guys having another good year is Barbaro Canizares, who spent a few days up at the big club last year. He's hitting .330 again. And the guy, if you're wondering who plays third base for Gwinnett, well, it's Wes Timmons. We've seen him before, too, for cups of coffee. Having a good year, .295, 6 homers.
So's Matt Lipka, the kid the Braves selected first overall in the draft this year. He's down and playing in the Gulf Coast League with the Braves down there. Already 22 RBIs and 17 stolen bases.
Not a bad start to a professional career.
There's still a handful of guys that are hoping to get theirs started. The deadline for the amateur draft picks to sign is tomorrow.
Tomorrow night, right? Yeah.
Tomorrow midnight.
And Bryce Harper, the #1 pick overall, to my knowledge, still has not been signed by the Nationals.
Well, he's wanting them to throw in a case of eye black, and apparently that's a deal breaker.
Well, then he should. You know what? Maybe he'll get traded to the Marlins. We saw earlier in the year they had plenty of eye black.
Yeah.
Yes,
their guys.
they did.
So
yes.
maybe he can get traded over there.
Matt Lipka hitting .309 too, Chip.
Yeah, it'll be interesting to see how the Braves play it. I mean, it's much like the trading deadline discussion. They've got such a good chemistry here. You wonder how many guys they want to bring in and not potentially disrupt that. But nowadays, too, with the Major League minimum being what it is, a September call-up is much more costly for clubs nowadays than it used to be. And if you think for a second that that's not part of the equation, it is, because it can get real expensive for teams in a hurry to start calling these guys up for a month.
Stephen Merrick's another guy. You see his numbers there. 45 strikeouts in 42 innings and only 13 walks.
And he was one of the principals that came from the Angels for Mark Teixeira, along with Casey Kochman. Well, Frank, I guess about a month ago, was asked about trade possibilities for the club, and he said there are just some guys in this system he will not move. And Tommy, I'm sure you know, as do you, Joe, that's a real delicate balance that you have to strike. You have to protect your future, but you also have to try to put together a club that you think can win it all this year.
Well, I think with some of those guys you're talking about, it would just have to be an absolute blockbuster deal that you would even think about including some of those guys.
We've heard the names, the Julio Teheran, Delgado, guys like that. Have you seen any of those guys in the minor leagues in your travels around as a special assistant?
I've seen Teheran, and I'll tell you what, they better get God knows what to move that kid, because he's pretty darn good, and I think he's going to be special. But I think that's the one thing the Braves have a big commodity on is arms in the minor league system. There's a lot of them. Their hitters are a little bit more few and far between, but you certainly are not going to want to move a guy like Freddie Freeman. I mean, he, by all accounts, is your first baseman of the future. But it's hard. It's hard to believe that you're going to be able to pull together a trade after the trade deadline with waiver blocks and everything, that you're going to be able to improve your club by that much that you need to be thinking about including any of those guys in the mix.
Yeah, and that is a good point. How much do you improve your club?
Well, and
that's the value you have to put on it, I think.
Yeah, absolutely. And again, the chances of getting a guy like that now, I don't know. I mean, it's not impossible, but you're hard pressed to pull off that kind of trade now.
And again, the financial considerations, if you're talking about the expense of bringing up 4 or 5 kids from the minor leagues to play for you in September, I'm sure for a veteran player there are considerations too. How much salary is left? And the bigger one is who blocks you. You're in first place. Everybody else behind you can keep you from getting a player that's trying to sneak through waivers. So if a deal isn't made, it's not because the GMs aren't trying. It's because the way the waiver process works, they're prevented from doing so.
You got to figure they'll bring out a couple of arms. You got to figure they're going to bring Nate back, and he certainly can play defense for you. And Freddie, regardless of how much he's going to play, I think if he's your first baseman of the future, you certainly want to get him up here and get a taste of what's going on and get a feel for what's going on, so that if he is the guy you're looking at towards spring training next year, he's already got a jump on what to expect.
Not to mention the fact that you hope he comes up and gets a few hits for you to help you win some ball games, and that would be the reason to bring him up, is that you think he can help you too.
Yeah, you're not gonna bring a guy up just to sit on the bench. You're certainly going to bring him up with the mindset that somewhere along the line, and the right opportunity, they're gonna be given a chance to try and help you win a ball game, and Freddie certainly had that kind of year.
That's to first. Loney to the bag just in time. And that retires the side. 7 complete, and it's 9-1, Braves the lead. Sunday Braves on Fox Sports South is brought to you in part by Verizon, by Dodge, by Geico, and by Georgia Power. It's turned out to be a nice day here in Atlanta. 9-1 Braves have the lead as we head to the Dodger half of inning number 8. Day is done for Jair Jurgens. As you see the new battery, David Ross behind the plate. David will bat in the 9th spot of the order. And the subject of our AT&T call to the bullpen is left-hander Mike Dunn.
You know what? He's beginning to settle in a little bit. Still hasn't given up a run. 6 walks to 9 strikeouts. Hasn't walked anyone in his last 2 outings. I think he's just beginning to feel a little more comfortable every time out there.
Yeah, you got to remember he's still relatively new to the pitching side of this game, so he's still got some things to learn. And I think the biggest thing for him is to just throw the ball and not muscle the ball.
Reed Johnson pinch hits and sees one pitch, and Ankiel calls him off. Interesting point you bring up, Tommy, about Dunn. Did you work with him at all once he came over from the Yankees?
You know, I saw him a little bit in spring training and when I was down there and had an opportunity to watch him a little bit, one day in a bullpen session. And Roger was down there and Billy Wagner and we were kind of watching him. And I think that's the one thing that Roger was really trying to get him to do was, just throw the ball. When he has a tendency to want to try and overpower the ball, and when he does, it doesn't come out as good. It's very, very similar mechanics or aspects of a batter getting in the box and just squeezing the bat as hard as he can, trying to hit a home run. Everything slows down. You don't hit the ball as hard. Very same thing with throwing a pitch. When you try to overpower it, it just doesn't come out as good. And I think for him, being a guy who's a converted outfielder, now he's pitching. Well, he's obviously being noticed by how hard he throws the ball, and that's his mindset. Is everything's got to be hard, and he's still trying to figure out that line between letting it go and just trying to muscle the ball. And it's still a work in progress.
But don't you think for most hard throwers, maybe this is just piggybacking on what you're saying, but they're worried that they don't throw hard enough when they get to this level, so I've got to throw even harder.
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely they do. I think it's true of, that's the mistake most guys make when they first get here. It's, like we've talked about before. You get the call up from the minor leagues. Okay, well, see, I was getting guys out throwing 91, 92 in the minor leagues. Man, I better throw 94, 95 now that I'm in the big leagues. It doesn't work that way, you know. But it's hard to get that mindset across to guys. But over time, you figure it out, and I agree with you. I think Mike's figuring that out a little bit.
I think it's remarkable that 3.5 years after he made the conversion, as you said, from a position player to a relief pitcher, that he's in the big leagues at all.
Well, yeah, and it's even more remarkable. The kid that pitched for the Dodgers last night was, what, 1 year removed from catching?
Yeah, he was catching last year in AAA for the Dodgers.
Yeah,
Kenley Jansen.
He was the catcher for the Dutch team in the World Baseball Classic.
Yeah. And he was bringing it last night.
He's got a live arm, but, you know, translating that into consistent mechanics and being able to do that on a consistent basis is not an easy thing. But I think, you know, with Mike, he has the stuff to be effective and be dominating, but it's going to take time for him to figure out that there's a certain effort level that he can throw 94, 95, and that he doesn't have to get up to 96, 97.
But he issues a walk to Terrio. Ryan's on base for the third time this afternoon. Friends, platinum recording artist and country music sensation Montgomery Gentry will perform a free post-game concert here at Turner Field. It's presented by Delta Airlines and Coca-Cola, and it's after the Braves play the Cardinals September the 11th. For tickets and on-field passes, visit Braves.com/Montgomery Gentry or call 800-745-3000. Jay Gibbons replaced Andre Ethier as this game's gotten out of hand for L.A. Ball 2.
Just bragged on Mike.
Yeah.
And jinxed him, I guess, but he's a little frustrated with himself here as he has a little chat.
When's O'Flaherty coming back?
Yeah, that's a good question. I know he worked on a rehab assignment, pitched pretty well. Pitching again today, Dave tells me.
Gibbons pops it up. Wynn pushing that toward the seats. And David Ross had just enough room for the second out. Well, that's a tough play.
David, here's what I want you to do. I want you to go down to the on-deck circle, then go to the corner. Go around the corner and meet me over there. And then we'll decide. You had to navigate around the chair, too. And the ball bag. Well done.
So the Dodger first baseman, James Loney. He's 1 for 3.
It's going to be hard for the Dodgers not to think of this as getaway day and spend the night here in Atlanta, then stay all day, wait for the game to be played tomorrow night. That's going to be a long day for them because then they have to travel all night back to LA and play Tuesday evening at home. I forget who it's with. I think Colorado. But that's going to be a short turnaround for them. Yeah, they've got 3 with the Rockies and then 3 with Cincinnati.
That's not typical of the Braves. They usually, somebody out in L.A. must have done the Braves wrong on a getaway day. Typically, they're pretty good about giving teams day games on getaway days. Those are the worst, though. The wraparound series where you got to hang around on a Sunday night and play Monday. It makes it seem like you're there for 10 days instead of 4.
Yep, 3 games is just right. 2's not enough, 4 too many.
But even a 4-game series during the week's not bad. You got to wrap around on a Sunday. There's just something about it that just throws your internal clock.
Sure does.
A mess.
Loney was late. 2 balls, 2 strikes.
Nice play by a fan sitting in the seats right at the top of the lower bowl. Got the ricochet.
Very calmly played the ricochet.
Sure did.
That's 2 good catches for that guy.
Wow.
You know, the stars aren't between the white lines, Tommy.
Dave Baker pointed out before the inning started that the Braves have their Brooks and Dunn third base and pitching combination.
That was a good one.
And a little pop will end the inning. And in keeping with the musical theme, 1 is indeed the loneliest number for Los Angeles. 9-1's our score, bottom of the 8th inning. Good day all around for the Braves. Excellent starting pitching from Jair Jurgens. The bats came to life with a couple of 4-run innings. And now David Ross gets his first at-bat of the afternoon.
Swinging the bat really well right now. Drove in the only run of the night last night with a ground out. But he's had some good numbers in recent days.
Dodgers have another defensive change. Left field for. Kevin Slowey, we understand, has a no-hitter through 7 innings today.
Talking about guys that one of the guys that flies under the radar. He's one. Good stuff.
Speaking of good stuff, David Ross continues his good work at the plate, and a leadoff single for David.
Talk about getting your hips cleared and getting your hands inside the baseball on a tough pitch from a tough pitcher. This guy throws across his body. He throws hard. That's David. Quick hands here. Ball running in on him a little bit, and he just dropped the barrel of the bat on it.
Sooner or later, people are going to figure out you're doing him a favor pitching him in.
So strong.
Good
That was
day,
kind of, sorry, Chip, that was one of those kind of Brian McCann type swings where pitch inside, everything just kind of comes to a screeching halt body-wise, and then the hands work. That's what David did.
A 3-hit game for Infante. Braves play it station to station, up 8. Infante now with a 4-game hitting streak has 8 hits in his last 17 at-bats.
Yeah, in 16 of his last 17 games he's hit safely. Had his streak snapped in Houston. And our Toyota Tacoma play of the game belongs to the man that's about to hit. That's Rick Ankiel, who gunned out Ryan Theriot trying to go first to third on a base hit. Quick release by the former pitcher, and he gunned him out at third. Toyota Tacoma play of the game.
Fly drive by Ankiel. Ross will tag. He's going to try to make third, and he'll slide in safely.
Some good signs from Rick at the plate tonight, or today too. The base hit, a couple of walks, and that line shot, that was hit hard.
And I made the point earlier, different in the National League hitting second as opposed to 8th.
Yeah.
Well, way different.
I mean,
way different.
He's walked a couple times. Figure he's going to get a few more fastballs, right, without the pitcher behind him.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's a good point. And
Yeah.
he's taking advantage today.
It seems like in that 8th slot, you're kind of always caught in that guessing zone of whether they're going to pitch to me or they're not going to pitch to me. They want to walk me and let the pitcher hit next, or they're trying to get me out, so the pitcher's leading off next inning. It seems like you're always kind of caught in between as to what they're going to do, whereas in the second hole, you figure on a pretty consistent basis they're going to be aggressive.
Line right field, a base hit. Right center, actually. And Gonzalez has a 4 RBI day. They are not wasting time against Belisario, are they?
Good base running by David Ross made that an easy RBI for Alex, and another one going up the middle or a little bit to right center.
And Brandon Hicks will pinch run for him.
Yeah, David Ross got a huge compliment in the Glavine household last night.
Did he?
Oh, yeah. It's funny, you're sitting there and you're kind of listening to the boys talk, and they don't really know you're listening. And they were arguing about something, and David Ross came up to hit and pinch hitting, whatever. And I heard one Peyton, I think, David Ross is arguably the best backup catcher in baseball.
Wow.
It's like, whoa.
Somebody's paying attention to him,
Yeah.
huh?
He'll be happy to hear that.
Yeah.
I like the arguably part.
Yeah.
Matt Diaz hits now for pitcher Mike Dunn. Hicks is at first. Infante is at second. 10-1. Braves have a big lead.
You get beat 10-1 and only have to use 2 pitchers. They've got Sherrill loosening up in their bullpen, but if they can get through this with only having to use 2 guys out of the bullpen, that's a bonus.
just missed the inside corner.
And Sherwin-Williams painting the corners on this one. Fox track shows us it's well in off the plate.
Reds won again today. They beat the Marlins. It's a 2-0 final. Reds hoping for a little help from the Cubs. They're playing St. Louis and beating them. So Cincinnati could take over first place.
See that St. Louis club, that's what they keep doing. They go into Chicago or go into Cincinnati and sweep the Reds, just wear them out. And then they can't seem to sustain it. Then they go somewhere else and lose to teams that they shouldn't lose to. And Cincinnati, as good as their starting pitching is, they get a shutout today. It may have been a combination shutout, but Homer Bailey came in and blanked Florida today, so that's some more help for them.
And if I remember right, when we were in Cincinnati, the Reds had a note in their game notes that said they have the easiest schedule among playoff contenders going in to the final day of the season. I mean, don't misunderstand. There's no such thing as an easy game in baseball. But the teams they play have the largest cumulative losing record.
Well, that's because they play in the Central. I mean, if they're going to be playing a lot of interdivisional rivals in the Central,
Milwaukee,
that's why
the Pirates,
that stands to reason.
And the Cubs.
Bailey went 6 innings today.
Gloss inside outs that ball to right. Gibbons really fighting the sun, can't find it. And Infante will come around and score. Hicks broke toward the plate. And Jay is looking for a bowl of grape nuts. No chance. 11-1.
Should be a base hit, and it is. I'd say that is such a horrible feeling, too. And you go into a game late, and you're fighting it like that, and you feel like a real doofus because you didn't catch the ball, but you got no shot when it's right in the sun. He's got his shades on. Just didn't help at all.
I know exactly what Jay feels like. The doofus part. Joe Torre didn't want to, but he has to go get Belisario. This inning not entirely his problem. And the Braves tack on a couple more runs and lead it by 10.
Slowey's out of the game with a no-hitter.
Wow. Sunday Braves on Fox Sports South is brought to you in part by KFC, by Blimpie, by Acura, and by AT&T. Braves having a good time this afternoon, leading 11-1. And George Sherrill will face Eric Hinsky. He jumps the first pitch. Little flare, shallow center. Kemp coming on, can't get there. Drops in front of Castro, and Hicks will score.
This is where an old partner of mine might say,
save some for tomorrow, guys.
except if you're Eric Hinsky, you say, to heck with that, I need a hit today. I'll take it.
I guarantee you there's somewhere in the clubhouse there's a pitcher that's saying it too.
Every Braves starter has a hit, including Jair Jurgens today. 15 in total, 12 runs. Ugly numbers for Sherrill. Wasn't he the closer in Baltimore when they got him?
Yeah. That was a trading deadline deal, too, I think. Had 20 saves last year when the Dodgers got him from Baltimore. Had 31 the year before that for the Orioles. Kevin Slowey came out of that game for Minnesota today with a no-hitter. He threw 7 innings and came out, and now the no-hitter is over.
Twins lead 4-1 over Oakland. White Sox 7-5 over the Tigers. Races now in just about every division, much more defined now. 3-team race in the AL East, 2-team race in the AL Central. It's Texas's division to lose in the AL West. Braves and Phillies in the NL East. Cardinals and Reds. San Diego and the Giants in the National League West. And then, of course, you get to the wild card where it's much more interesting in our league than it is in the AL. Tampa Bay, the wild card leader. Boston 4 behind them. Giants, Cardinals, Reds, and Phillies separated by a game.
Should make for a fun September.
You got it. Broken bat. Another RBI hit.
Braves really needed a game like this. I mean, they've been playing so many tight games, and the offense has been struggling so much. Good to have a breakout party today.
That bat dies a hero. As the Braves lead 13-1 and bat around again. Did that in the 3rd inning. When they scored 4, they've scored 4 here in the 8th. That's been the magic number. 4 runs in the 3rd, 4 in the 5th, 4 in this inning. The last time the Braves had an inning of 4 or more runs in regulation was almost a month ago. They had that 6-run inning in extra innings down in Houston. We're not counting that one.
Braves looking to improve to 16-1 at home in day games. And it would be their 41st win overall. Last year they went 40-41 at home. So already more wins at home if they finish this one off than they won all last year.
Let's get some red bricks and some ivy out on those fences and do like they do at Wrigley Field. Play a lot of day baseball here at Turner Field. Nice catch in left by Reed Johnson. And that retires the side. Another big inning for the Braves. They're walloping the Dodgers 13-1.
Tuesday, the time has come to separate the strong from the weak in the NL East. Braves, Nationals, our 3-game series starts Tuesday at 6:30. The hunt for postseason baseball is on Sports South.
13-1. That's right. Braves 13, Dodgers 1 after 8. Let's revisit our AT&T Uverse trivia question. Matt Kemp came very close to a 30-30 year for the Dodgers last year. Only one man has done that. Do you know who it is?
Did Eric Davis play there for a year or two?
You know what? He was coming to my mind, but I couldn't remember if he played there or not.
I was thinking Darryl Strawberry, but I don't know if that's right either.
I'm going with Reggie Smith. That's the only name I can think of. I don't know.
Go Eric Davis just as a lark.
I'm going to say Raul Mondesi.
That's a good one.
Good call.
Real good one. You're a genius. Twice. You are a genius.
You looked it up.
I don't even have a Dodger guide in front of me.
You got your iPhone over there. You're Googling stuff all the time.
No.
Way to go.
Raul Mondesi was a Brave for about 10 minutes, wasn't he?
Yep. I forgot all about him. It's hard to believe they've only had one guy.
Oh, yes, sir.
Kemp to third. And a nice pick sends him back to the dugout. 1 for 4. Bunch of changes for the Braves here in the ninth. Let's start on the mound with our AT&T call to the bullpen. It's Christian Martinez to mop things up.
Second appearance since he was recalled. Second appearance, second stint with the Braves this year.
How about Belisario? Big giant hang with him, huh? Hitting in 2/3, 4 hits, 4 runs. And if Gibbons catches that fly ball, it's a 0 for him.
Yep. That's why those numbers in the bullpen can be deceiving sometimes.
Diaz in left. Makes a nice running catch. Should be a happy clubhouse after this one against the Dodgers. Fred Bryan, Jerome will be standing by with post-game sound. We'll have Braves live for you from the ballpark.
There's some nervousness down there near the dugout because Jerome, I mean, there's so many guys to talk to in terms of like player of the game type stuff.
Yeah.
His head's swirling a little bit. He's not sure who it's going to be.
I would imagine they'll be lining up right along the infield after the game to all take their turn to be.
That's a good idea. He could just get in the line of handshakes and high fives.
Just quick question on the way by.
Yeah.
And 2 strikes to Juan Castro, the last hope for the Dodgers.
And that's your ball game. Joe, I think you said it best earlier. The Braves really could have used a day like today, and they clobber LA 13-1.
And our Toyota Tundra hardest working player today is Troy Gloss, who had himself quite a day. Terrific offensive day, of course, with his 3-run homer. A big blow, but good defense, too. Nice play here with runners aboard to get Jurgens out of a tough inning. The 3-run jack highlighted a 4-run 5th and really put this game on ice for Atlanta, and it was his 16th home run of the year. Our Toyota Tundra hardest working player, Troy Gloss.
So the Bats are going to get all the headlines, but great pitching, too, from Jair Jurgens. He picks up the win. Vicente Padilla the loss. And for our entire crew upstairs, 13-1.